All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the Juice. This is the Juice presented by Fish USA. So the Juice is basically my recap video for each tournament that I fished throughout the year, and we kind of dive into the juice of what I was doing: baits, patterns, rods, reels, line, all the good stuff that you guys want to know. You guys are always asking me what to throw to catch more fish. Well, this is exactly what I used in the Dale Hollow tournament, stage 3 on the Bass Pro Tour. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. You know, we're really trying to grow this channel, so I appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe. Appreciate all you new subscribers. We just hit the 10,000 subscriber mark, so that's super cool, and appreciate all you new subscribers. But if you guys are ready, let's jump in and talk about the juice from Dale Hollow. Well, when the schedule was released last year, the one that I was the most excited about was Dale Hollow. You know, I've spent a lot of time there. I spent a lot of time there since the schedule came out, and I really enjoy Dale Hollow. I love that type of fishery, love how the fish act. I've had great success there. You know, I won the BFL there earlier this year before the off limits for this tournament. So coming into this, I was really excited. And, you know, I knew it was going to be a fish catching tournament, just catching a bunch of fish. You keep it pretty simple on tackle and pattern and just catch fish pretty much anywhere you go in the lake. So we arrived there for practice, and, you know, it's kind of a warming trend. It's the spring of the year. We're in April, so those bass have spawning on their mind. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking that the whole time throughout practice and throughout the tournament. But, you know, in practice, I kind of found some fish doing what I like to do, kind of out in the middle of the lake, chasing bait fish, kind of roaming around, kind of pre-spawn and post-spawn fish actually mixing together. But as the week went on, those fish kind of left me and went to the bank. So that's kind of how I ended up, you know, having a little bit tougher tournament. I still got to check. I think I finished 17th in my group, so that'd be like 34th place overall in the tournament. So, you know, decent tournament, above the 50% mark, but not up to my standards. You know, I was really hoping and kind of expecting to make a top 10 in this tournament just because of the knowledge I have on the lake. So kind of like I said, patterns, I was basically looking for those fish that were chasing bait. You know, it was kind of a mix of largemouth and smallmouth. You never really knew what you were going to catch. But basically, to target those, it's pretty simple. You guys have seen me throw it all over the country. We had the good old jig head minnow. So I had three different setups on the deck, and basically they're just different size jig heads, all with the same bait. And that was really just based on how deep the fish were in the water column. You know, if they were closer to the surface, I would throw this one right here, which was the 1/8 size. You know, if they were within that, you know, 5 feet or less from the surface. As they started getting a little deeper, that 10 to 15 feet range, that's when I went with the 1/4. That's this guy right here. And then those deeper fish, you know, deeper than 15 or the real deep, you know, down 20, 25, 30 feet, I went with the 3/8 ounce, so a little bit heavier. And really, like I said, I just varied between the two. I would even pick up different rods on the same fish or the same group of fish just based on how he was swimming up and down in the water column. And I just wanted to use the lightest jig head possible that I could accurately and efficiently present to that fish. Now, as far as bait, I keep it really simple as far as baits on my jig head minnow. You know, I'm exclusively using the Yamamoto scope shad, and Dale Hollow is a lake with the beautiful water clarity that sets up perfect for my color right here. Becker's grape juice. That is a beautiful color. You can see that kind of purple belly, natural shad laminate. So that's the bait that I throw on the good old jig head minnow. And, you know, it's a very simple technique. You know, obviously I'm using my live scope for this, and I am casting that bait right to those fish. I want to sink it right down to those fish, and then I want to kind of keep it away from them. You know, I don't want that bait to get too close to them. I want it to get close enough that they acknowledge it, And then it's pretty much a game of cat and mouse or keep away, where you're trying to make that fish react and come up and eat it. And those lighter or different size weights allowed me to kind of target those fish in different ways with the same bait. And that's kind of, you know, what worked for me this week was the 3 different size jig heads. So other than the jig head minnow, I did catch a couple fish on the good old jerkbait. So I wanted with a little bit deep and diver jerkbait, a couple, you know, very famous colors. And these were for more of those fish that were up very close to the surface, that I couldn't really get the jig head minnow, the scope shad, to kind of hover there. So I wanted a bait that would kind of stop right in front of their face. So that's when I picked up the jerkbait, and I could kind of let it sit there a little bit, kind of allow them to find it and just kind of mosey over to it. So it was for more of those more lethargic fish that were just kind of moseying around, not actively feeding real fast. So that was my 1-2 punch for the tournament at Dale Hollow. So Dale Hollow is a clear body of water. So of course you want to use light line on these techniques. So on my jig head minnows, I'm using this is actually the new Seagar, the PEX 8 braided line. So it's a super thin line. I'm using, it's the 18-pound size, and tying an FG knot to 8-pound Seagar Tatsu fluorocarbon. Same setup on all 3 of these right here. And, you know, I wanted that really light line for that clear water. And it just allows your bait to sink faster and act better, cast better with that light braid. That new braid really casts well from Seagar. So I'm really excited and really impressed with the results so far. And then on the jerkbait, keep it simple. Throw in, you know, 12-pound Seagar Invisex fluorocarbon for my jerkbait setup. You know, that's pretty much my go-to for all jerkbait fishing. But you know, that's pretty much gonna wrap up the juice. You know, it's an interesting tournament, and I am very intrigued on how it had turned out. You know, there was small areas that were holding a lot of fish, and they kind of got crowded as the tournament went on. Some people kind of started showing up where they shouldn't have been, and it just kind of started some things throughout the tournament. But this was going on, you know, throughout the entire tournament, and you know, it's just a lot of those things that people don't really see watching the live coverage. But you know, a lot of the fish moved to the bank. You know, some guys did really well bed fishing or fishing shallow in general, but you know, really like day 2 of Group A qualifying, it rained a whole bunch, and that rain, the runoff, kind of muddied up a lot of those shallow creeks and bays, and you know, it kind of put a hurting on those guys that were bed fishing or fishing shallow. It dirtied up that water. They couldn't look at those fish anymore. And, you know, that's how you kind of seen a shift in the leaderboard to the guys that were fishing out deep and had those groups of fish located. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up. If you guys are still watching, I appreciate you watching this long. You know, check the description down below. There's direct links to Fish USA for all of this tackle right here, and really everything bass fishing. They have all sorts of tackle over at Fish USA. So if you guys are looking for a way to support the channel and help us out, use those links, click the links in the description, use those to purchase your tackle from Fish USA. It really lets them know that you guys are watching the channel and that you're supporting the channel, you know, buying your tackle from MBeckerFishing and through Fish USA. So it really helps us out. So I appreciate all you guys always clicking that. You know, I see all you guys. I see a bunch of you guys on there consistently. So I really appreciate all that. But hopefully you guys learned something about Dale Hollow. We are regrouped, moving on to the next one, and excited to keep the season rolling. You know, we got a bunch of tournaments coming up here real quick. So it's going to be fast and furious here soon. So I'm excited about that. And we'll see you guys next time.